Happy Monday. It's more meaningful Monday. It's Malika. Keep your ears and your eyes open all year long. That is the message for today, to remind you to keep your ears and eyes open. I have tons of story from my own life primarily, and just actually being a social worker, you get a lot of stories. But this one is about trusting that gut, trusting your instinct, and just running through red flags. I probably the queen of it, queen of many things, but that's not something I'm always proud of. But I want to give you one example that I had specifically about a contract that I had. Don't even waste your time, you won't figure it out. But this is a message that I feel a lot of people can relate to in some form or fashion. I had this contract, and of course, when you start something new, there's a little nervousness. Even if you've done the work before, you're learning the work environment, or you may be transferring skills, those type of things. You have that nervousness, but you kind of keep moving forward, and things may be okay initially, but then you start having this gut feeling like, I don't know if I should be here. I don't know if I should keep going forward, but you ignore it and you keep going. And I think if you're following me in any kind of way, you know how this is going to end. So I ignore that feeling and I keep going. The pay is decent, and I'm just thinking, all right, Malika, just, I don't know what I was telling myself, toughen up or whatever. Just get through it. You're doing fine. Doing fine doesn't mean you need to be there, right? Right. If you don't know that, that's why we're talking today. All right. So as things progress, I was just working like crazy, almost 7 days literally. Morning, noon, evening, and if I woke up in the middle of the night, maybe so. Those type of things. Then I started to notice, fast forward, I started to notice when I pulled up, I would get headaches. Just the mere fact of pulling and parking my car, I would get headaches. I would go inside and I'm just like, okay, I'm not my usual cheerful, perky self, so I'm starting to change. My head is hurting. And then, things start to persist a little, and I'm like, okay, is it me or is somebody out to get me right now? Because more and more things kept happening. Then I got sick. And it's just like, okay, Then there were some issues with the contract, those type of things. It just seemed like Murphy's Law, that everything that could go wrong did go wrong. But sometimes it's because we ignore the signs. We have to take that responsibility and that accountability sometimes. It's us. You look back and say, oh, I knew I should have listened. I knew something was telling me not to, or something was telling me to. And if you have not experienced this message is not really for you at this time, because you have to go through it. You have to go through it where you literally kick yourself and say, I knew I should have listened. It was something about that person. It was something about that position. It was something about that complex. It was something about that relationship. It was something about that vehicle. Look, we can make this list go on and on and on. But the lesson is to trust yourself, to trust your intuition. You may not have a fact on hand, but sometimes you have to go with that gut that tells you something isn't right. Because when you sit down and you get your quiet time, let me tell you, all the little signs are like, oh, that and this and that and this and that and this and that. And how did I just run right past those signs? Because you didn't keep your eyes and your ears open. So all 2022, let's keep our ears and our eyes open. I know I will. Remember that life's full circle. Live, think, be more meaningful.